So it's really important to learn from the right sources and learn your deen, learn your religion, learn the do's and the don'ts, so that you are not tricked into these hardships that don't exist in Islam to begin with.
أحل لكم ليلة الصيام الرفث إلى نسائكم هن لباس لكم وأنتم لباس لهن علم الله أنكم كنتم تختانون أنفسكم فتاب عليكم وعفى عنكم فالآن باشروهن وابتغوا ما كتب الله لكم وكلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل ولا تباشروهن وأنتم عاكفون في المساجد تلك حدود الله فلا تقربوها كذلك يبين الله آياته للناس لعلهم يتقون ولا تأكلوا أموالكم بينكم بالباطل وتدلوا بها إلى الحكام لتأكلوا فريقا من أموال الناس بالإثم وأنتم تعلمون يسألونك عن الأهلة قل هي مواقيت للناس والحج وليس البر بأن تأتوا البيوت من ظهورها ولكن البر من اتقى وأتوا البيوت من أبوابها واتقوا الله لعلكم تفلحون.
Islam Unveiled, Debunking Cultural Myths. So in these set of verses, we are taught about the rulings of Islam when it comes to a relationship between spouses on the night of Ramadan. We are also taught about some rules regarding the ihram when you are in the state of ihram for Hajj or Umrah. So these are two examples, but the same thing applies in other areas of life. There may be some topics, some things that are taboo, that are considered un-Islamic, but that's just coming from culture. You shouldn't get married in such and such month. You shouldn't walk like this. You shouldn't sit like this. You shouldn't face this way, and so on and so forth. So many different things that people have which they don't understand. So something as simple, once I was traveling, I was wearing my shoes, obviously. I was in a waiting room, and I was just reading Quran. One auntie told me that, you shouldn't be reading Quran while wearing shoes. Obviously, she's coming with a good intention, but where did she get that from? So all of these things, sometimes we just learn from uncles and aunties and this guy and that guy, and this becomes Islam. Right? But when it comes to business, when it comes to medicine, we just don't go and learn from random people. So it's really important to learn from the right sources and learn your deen, learn your religion, learn the do's and the don'ts, so that you are not tricked into these hardships that don't exist in Islam to begin with. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us about such rules when it comes to relationship between husband and wife in the nights of Ramadan, and when it comes to the rules of ihram. But the key thing here is to seek knowledge and so on and so forth. And don't go after adults and uncles and auntie and elderly, especially if they don't have knowledge. So seek knowledge from the right sources. We also learn here about the relationship of the husband and wife. How beautiful it is. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is using the word of garment. So they protect each other. They keep the confidential thing confidential. They beautify each other. They comfort each other. So that's something to pay attention to, and sometimes, especially as married couple, we become desensitized. We stop focusing on the marriage, we stop focusing on the relationship because there's a lot going on in life. But it's something really important to also remind ourselves with, that shaitan also tries to break this. So it's important to spend time to listen to each other without being excessive, but really important to pay attention to this relationship and to see how it's growing, what are the pain points, what are the top concerns, how can we address each other's concerns.